Peter Marino, Columbia College, speech 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, my name is Peter Marino. I'm going to tell you a little bit today about voice stress analysis. Everyone has heard of a lie detector test and the need to separate the difference between a truth and a lie. The biggest reasons to separate truth from a lie would be national security, a new job, or an internal investigation. In the job market today, it's extremely important to understand tools used by employers to differentiate between a truth and a lie and the best candidate. Employers are starting to use the VSA to sort through these candidates. This presentation is going to give you a little bit of an understanding on voice stress analysis, how it's used, the technology behind it, and why I think every business needs to have it in the hiring process. So let's start. The National Institute of Truth Verification, NITV, says that the first truth device was founded in 1885, but that device only measured blood pressure. With today's technology, it's been modernized, vastly improved. Today it goes off of finding physical changes that cannot be used by the mind or cannot be changed by the mind. The first version of the VSA was in 1988 and used by law enforcement and military personnel. Now it's starting to go into the civilian world for employers. The VSA assists employers in finding the best candidate, as I already said. Employers have an overabundance of candidates, but not enough jobs. The tools used to verify the quality of candidates are such as credit checks, background checks, and voice stress analysis. The VSA offers not only truth verification, but the pre-exam interview. The pre-exam interview is what I think is the most important of the application process, because it breaks down an interpersonal interview with the person that you're going to do a lie detector test, the voice stress analysis on, and an actual interview. During this interview, the applicant feels compelled to give you more information that they left out from their application itself. And I've been doing VSAs for 2 years now. I've conducted over 200 voice stress analysis, and I have never found yet during a pre-employment voice stress analysis where someone has not provided me more information than they didn't have on their application. So with that, we're going to talk a little bit about how the VSA works and the test itself. The VSA is simple. It's given with a microphone and a laptop computer. It has 31 questions in a pre-employment exam, and it goes off 3 types of questions. Relevant questions, which are directly related to the information that is sought by the employer or internal investigator. Irrelevant questions, which are common knowledge type questions like what is your name, your date of birth, what month is it in, or what county do you live in. The last type is controlled questions. Controlled questions are questions that I would ask you to tell the difference between how a person lies and how a person tells the truth. The exam is broke up 3 times. You give 2 to 3 exams. Doing these exams changes or establishes a baseline for the candidate so we can see if they're telling the truth or a lie. During the first exam, it doesn't count. The second exam is what matters, and taking out the first exam takes away situational stress. Any person that sits in front of a voice stress, for whatever reason, is under a certain amount of stress. After the first exam, they become more open, and they don't feel as stressed because they're aware of how the test is given. So it takes away that situational stress. Your vocal cords are what dictate the exam. A relaxed person's vocal cords are controlled by the central nervous system. Stress, lying, this changes the vocal cords to react. This is detected by the voice stress and detects deception in individuals. The two biggest questions that I get about voice stress, or that any voice stress examiner gets, are how the computer determines if a person is actually truthful, and what information do we have to prove it actually works. That's what I'm going to give you now. Dr. William Cox of the NITV, National Institute of Truth Verification, says that well, the vocal cords are measurements of functions inside the body that are below the threshold of awareness, such as digestion, respiration, and the heartbeat. The human voice has two types of frequencies: amplitude frequency and amplitude modulation and frequency modulation. Amplitude modulation is audible, while frequency modulation is not, and that's what voice stress uses. The Total Control Defense Council says that the VSA technology basically results in stress, causing muscular reactions not controlled by the stress that are not controlled by the mind. This reaction causes subtle, but the machine detects any change in your voice pitch. In a 1995 study done by the Department of Defense, it showed that there is a systematic and predictable relationship between voice patterns and stress detection. So it just proves that these are all things that help prove that voice stress actually does work, and it should be used by employers. The separate study, last study that I'll give you, is that Dr. Jay Chapman with Corning College in New York did a study with 2,109 candidates. He used 211 criminal responses at random with the VSA. It confirmed that VSA was accurate as a truth measurement device and produced a confession of 94.8% where deception was indicated. Those are a few studies that have been shown. There's various others that I could give you, but due to time constraints, I'm not going to go there. So we're going to conclude. I've given you a basic idea of voice stress analysis, a little tiny bit. I've told you how it works, why it's used, and the fact that it does it. The sad fact about life is that people lie. The economy today, there's more people unemployed in society, and this results in people lying in attempts to try to get jobs. Employers are finding that in the application process, people need jobs, and they're lying to obtain them. So these employers also have an abundance of applicants, and they want to choose the best applicant. So why not use the best tools available to the employer to find that best applicant? And last, VSA should be used by every employer because no one wants to hire and no one wants to work with a liar. Thank you for listening. That concludes my presentation. Peter Marine.